Hello, this is Susan of the North with the rune of the day, which I'm uploading live today. The first rune I drew was ANSUZ, which is the rune of the Norse gods, the highest gods being the Aesir, or I don't know if that they're the highest gods, but there are different genres of gods within the Norse pantheon. There's the Aesir, which are the gods of consciousness and order. There's the Vanir, which are the gods of the land, headed by Frey and Freya, the Van and the Vanadis of the land, which you will work with if you are into gardening, especially. And then there's the Jotun. And the Jotun may not call themselves God, but they are powers in the earth. They are powers that are larger than human beings. And the humans and the Aesir sort of fall in the same category because we strive to be conscious beings. The second rune I drew supports the direction of today's reading. It's DAGAZ. DAGAZ is day and night, the balance between light and dark, which we all carry within us. More could be said on this, but it's very important to be conscious, to be as conscious of your own shadow as you are of your own light. That way you can choose how to respond in any situation. I've known people who swore they were beings of the light, but they totally ignored their own shadow. So they were always getting sabotaged by their subconscious. It's so important to know yourself, to know what makes you tick, and to look at yourself without judgment. Just accept yourself as you are. You know, if there's areas in yourself you don't like very much, well, you work on that. But just being who we are, our most authentic selves, comes from our heredity and our essence. And the final one I drew today is Ear. It's the rune for death in the Anglo-Saxon Futhark, but it doesn't mean you're going to die. It's just another way of saying that in any spiritual pathway that I have studied, there comes a transcendent moment when one must die to the ego self if one wants to rise up. So I leave you with this message today. Ordered consciousness, the play between light and dark, or the play between our thoughts and our emotions. And we can have dark emotions and we can have light emotions, but it's so important not to lie to ourselves and say I'm a being of the light when I'm holding on to a raging jealousy that I don't want anyone else to see. It's much better to own my jealousy and then ask my shadow self, what direction is this pointing me in? If I'm jealous of something someone else has, maybe I need to figure out a way to acquire something similar. It doesn't have to be a negative emotion. It can just be a pointer, a guide on the way. So our light and our shadows are both guides for us. And then the final rune, Ear, about dying to one's ego self in order to rise up. We all have our own unique capacity for illumination, enlightenment, ascension. There's so many terms being bandied about these days, but it all speaks to the same thing. Being more conscious, making the subconscious conscious, balancing your light and your dark, balancing your thought and your emotion. And the body is the host for this. So the body is the container, the neutralizer for these things that we're working through. So let me leave you with that message today, that in order to rise up, we need to make friends with our own shadow. May you all have a blessed week.